Welcome back to the cryptowrld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now, Bitcoin has officially confirmed the breakout from this short-term bullish price pattern. So I'm now longing the price of Bitcoin. So in just a moment, I'll be sharing my exact Bitcoin trading strategy, revealing with you how I'm planning to make a lot of easy profits from the coming Bitcoin move happening very soon, as the price of Bitcoin just now took out my exact level of liquidity I've been talking about, as Solana is now starting to break out from this price pattern alongside XRP also starting to break out, which we need to pay attention to. So I'll be talking about all of that and more later in the video, so definitely watch to the end. First of all, starting off on the weekly Bitcoin price chart, and the super trend indicator is still sitting in the green, indicating a larger bull market. And on this weekly Bitcoin price chart, we technically still have a bearish divergence still currently active. So this is something to pay attention to. And if we're taking a look at this 3-day Bitcoin price chart, like I've already been saying over the last 1 week or so, we're slowly moving towards a new bullish crossover in the 3-day Bitcoin MACD, which is basically telling us we're now starting to regain, at least in the shorter term, a small amount of bullish momentum. So we're likely going to see a little bit more of a further recovery in the price of Bitcoin, at least in the short term. Once again, I've been saying that every day for around a week now on the channel, and obviously just in the shorter term over the last few days, over the last 1 week, has been playing out exactly as expected. And so at least based on this indicator on the 3-day time frame, this will likely continue a little longer here. And if we're taking a look at the daily Bitcoin price chart, we're now testing a key level, which is sitting at around 113,500. Now, we've not yet technically confirmed the breakout with a daily candle close above 113,000 or 113.5k, but if we see a breakout above this area that I've already been talking about for a long time now, if we see a breakout above that area, expect to move up towards roughly 117,000 as the next significant point of resistance and the next price target towards the upside, if we first ideally confirm a breakout with the daily candle close above 113 to 113.5k. But if we're looking at the daily Bitcoin RSI, this is now finally starting to see further recovery, starting to form some shorter term higher lows and higher highs in the daily RSI. So this is now effectively helping to invalidate this bearish divergence on the daily time frame, showing some strength in the price of Bitcoin, which is pointing towards, once again, a little bit more of a recovery. So in the immediate short term, we still have that obstacle at around 113,500 approximately. We still ideally need to confirm a breakout above that level, but once we pass that obstacle right there, then once again 117,000 is the next major target. And as for support to watch out for, expect a lot of support in this area in between around 106.7k to 107.6k, and obviously that's pretty much exactly where the price bounced from right at the lows, which I've been talking about every day since then. Obviously I've been talking about this support even before we saw the perfect bounces from that exact area. And if we're taking a look at this 4-hour Bitcoin price chart, also expect support basically around these lows just here, so around 110.9k, around 110,000 exactly, at around 109.5k as other short-term levels of support. And obviously, as I mentioned in my last video just yesterday, we did have a very small bearish divergence on the 2-hour time frame between these two highs right here, which ultimately played out over just a few hours, really just under 1 day. Now, in my last video, I said I do expect that to potentially continue a little bit before then seeing another bullish move maybe later on in a few days. But obviously this next bullish move came faster than what was expected, which basically is a sign that we are gaining some more bullish momentum in the short term. This is a sign of strength. But also, as I always say, of course, the price does not move in a straight line. We can see little pullbacks and things like that during the shorter term bullish trends, but at least as of right now on the 4-hour Bitcoin price chart, it is technically a short-term bullish trend. We are forming higher lows and higher highs, and at least on the 4-hour time frame, we technically have just confirmed a breakout with a 4-hour candle close above this line of resistance here that I've been watching here on the channel, sitting at really just above 113,000, close to 113,000. So we're potentially coming in for a retest of that level as of recording this video in the immediate short term. So ideally, if we now hold above 113,000 and actually use that as new support, that would be very good news for the price of Bitcoin. But remember, we still have 113.5K as that major area of resistance to watch out for. And so in other words, the price is overall looking more bullish than it is bearish just in the shorter term, the short-term trend. But of course, expect points of resistance along the way. The price does not move in a straight line. And if we're taking a look at this 4-hour Bitcoin price chart, we've technically just confirmed a short-term breakout here with one candle close above this line of resistance, which is once again sitting at roughly 113,000. And in case you're new to all of this, this price pattern is known as an ascending triangle pattern, which is typically more of a bullish price pattern. More often than not, it breaks out towards the upside, and it is technically bullish price structure, as we have basically stagnant sell pressure, the sell pressure staying at the same level, which is now obviously broken, and increasing demand, higher lows in the price, which once again is bullish price structure. And so technically speaking, this is now an active bullish breakout as of recording this video, but this would invalidate if we see a break back below 113,000, which is why I just said earlier, ideally we need to now hold above 113,000 in order to keep this short-term breakout active. And now it's entirely possible we could invalidate the pattern and then still ultimately continue the shorter-term bullish trend, as we could see just here. But essentially, if we break back below 113,000 with a 4-hour candle close, for example, back below that level, and especially if we fail to get back above that level, that would completely invalidate this triangle pattern right here and invalidate the price target for this pattern. And in case you're wondering, the technical price target for this ascending triangle pattern right here is currently sitting at approximately 116.5K. And so obviously from the point of the breakout to that price target, that's roughly around a 3% move towards the upside, or from the current price as of recording this video to that price target, that's still around a 2.6% move towards the upside before actually hitting the price target. So obviously not a massive move. Remember, this is only on the 4-hour time frame, looking at the short-term moves, the small moves in the price of Bitcoin. But even a 2 to 3% move with no leverage, if you're using, for example, a 10x leverage long position, can turn into a 20 to 30% profit in that example, not financial advice. But remember, I want to make it clear, if we actually see a break back below roughly 113,000 with confirmation, that would completely invalidate this price target and this price pattern. And so we need to hold above 113,000 to keep this breakout active, keep the price target active. And obviously this price target at around 116,500 is sitting just underneath the next major level of resistance at close to 117,000. So that would be a major take profit point if you're in a short-term trade, like a leverage long position, not financial advice. That's just telling you what I'm looking at actually doing with my trading strategy. And as always, I put my money where my mouth is. Like I've already been saying over the last few days before the breakout, I said if we break out above 113,000, that will be a trading opportunity to trade a move from 113K to 117K. And so once again, I took the trade that I've been talking about over the last few days for around a week now on the channel. And so currently I'm just in a small Bitcoin long position, around a $250,000 long position, 250K Bitcoin long position, currently just a couple of thousand in profits, but potentially could go a lot further into profits for as long as we're holding above that 113K level. But because of the fact that we've just wiped out this major level of liquidity in the Bitcoin liquidation heat map at around 114K, obviously in the shorter term, that means we've already used up that liquidity. We don't really have a lot of liquidity immediately above the price anymore, because we've now already wiped out that level that I've been targeting for days now on the channel. And so due to this reason, I've just slightly actually taken a small amount of profits. Originally, there was a slightly larger trade, close to a 300K Bitcoin long position, already slightly reduced the size of the trade and put a stop loss basically at break even. So now even in the worst case scenario, if the price just dumps, once again, I have my stop loss at roughly break even around my entry right here. But overall, I'm still very much long on the price of Bitcoin. Of course, the majority of this trade still very much open, because this breakout, at least as of right now, is still technically active with a bullish price target in play. And as I always say, when it comes to these sort of trades, of course, if the price moves further into profits here, I'll slowly move a stop loss further into profits, and then closer towards the price target, usually just before the price target, or especially just before a major point of resistance. Those are major take profit points, at least when it comes to my trading strategy. strategy, not financial advice, but those are levels or areas on the price chart where I'll be looking at basically reducing the size of the trade, taking a lot of profits out of this Bitcoin long position, not necessarily closing the entire trade in case the price just breaks out even higher beyond those levels, but significantly reducing the size of the trade, keeping some of the trades still open, but taking decent profits at around those levels. And so that is my exact trading strategy for the price of Bitcoin, revealing with you exactly how I'm planning to make a lot of profits from the coming Bitcoin moves here. And of course, if you want to take these trades for yourself to make a lot of easy profits in the crypto market, like what I'm doing right now, you have to be set up ready to go on a crypto exchange. And personally, I'm taking this trade right here over on BTNX. So I'll make sure to leave a link to BTNX below this video in the description and in the pinned comment. And if you use that link, it'll take you to this page right here where you can claim some massive trading bonuses. For example, up to 25,000 USDT in trading bonuses here, simply just by trading crypto using that link. So if you're going to be trading crypto anyway, you might as well check this out. Once again, first link below this video. And in case you're wondering, BTNX is a no KYC exchange, which means you can access it from basically any country in the world without needing any KYC. But as always, check your local regulations when it comes to trading crypto. And for whatever reason, if you don't want BTNX as an exchange, there's also 2bit as another exchange out there that I also trade on. So I'll also make sure to leave a link to 2bit below this video. And if you use that link, it'll take you to this page right here where you can also claim some major bonuses. For example, up to $18,000 in not just trading bonuses, but also withdrawable USDT you can claim using that link below this video. So major bonuses here. Also, if you simply just make an account using that link, you get a $30 bonus right here. And for first time deposits, you can get a $50 bonus just for depositing $100. And also, if you're simply just trading $5,000 in trading volume, you get another $20 bonus onto your 2bit account. So there's major bonuses here. If you're trading larger amounts, you can get huge bonuses, or if you simply make small deposits here, you can also get some decent bonuses. Once again, all of these bonuses here are only available if you're using the link below this video to 2bit. So obviously, if you're trading crypto anyway, definitely get set up ready to go using those links. And in case you're wondering, yes, you can access 2bit without any KYC as well. 2bit is a no KYC exchange. But with that being said, taking a look at the Bitcoin dominance on the 3-day time frame, and we can see that in the immediate short term, the Bitcoin dominance is basically just bouncing around sideways, consolidating sideways during a larger pullback. So the larger bearish price structure is still intact. Obviously, we've not yet confirmed a massive bullish trend reversal, at least not as of right now in the Bitcoin dominance. And so overall, while we're still in the larger bearish price structure, that's good news for altcoins. But of course, if we continue to see just basically a sideways consolidation, that essentially means that a lot of altcoins are just going to perform very similar price action to whatever Bitcoin is doing, not necessarily much better or much worse. And so that is simply the situation in the short term for the Bitcoin dominance. And if we're taking a look at Ethereum on the 3-day time frame, Ethereum is still bouncing around sideways in the same sideways price range I've been talking about for weeks now on the channel, sitting in between this support and this resistance. First of all, this support is in between around 3.9k to 4.1k, and this resistance is in between around 4.8k to 4.9k. And so honestly, just continue to expect Ethereum to continue to bounce around in this same sideways price range. And obviously that's exactly what's happened over the last couple of weeks as predicted, and this will likely continue moving forward. And if we're taking a look at this daily Ethereum price chart, it's quite likely that just in the immediate short term for the next 1 day or so, we're likely just going to basically bounce around sideways as we have been doing for around 1 to 2 weeks now as predicted. But also keep a close eye on what the Bitcoin price is doing, because for example, if Bitcoin remains above 113,000, that's a key level we need to hold above now. If that happens, and if we continue a little bit more of a bullish move here, that will likely help Ethereum just in the short term, maybe play out a slight little bullish relief like this. So keep that in mind, but overall remaining in this larger sideways price range, looking very neutral in terms of the shorter term trend. And if we're taking a look at Solana on the 2-day time frame, clearly the trend, as I've been saying for a long time, is simply bullish. We're in a larger bullish trend, forming larger bullish price structure. For example, higher lows and higher highs still playing out. And so once again, as I've been saying over and over again here on the channel, Solana is simply looking bullish, and the next major target is sitting at roughly $230 based on this Fibonacci level. So we'll likely see the price test close to 230 very, very soon. And now that we're starting to break out above these previous highs right here, this could likely flip into new support. So if we see a slight little pullback attack. Expect support at roughly 215, give or take, and below that, major support in this area in between 190 to 200. And if we're taking a look at the 12-hour Solana price chart, we can see that right now and over the last one day, the price of Solana has technically just confirmed one candle close on the 12-hour time frame above this line of resistance, technically confirming a breakout for a rising wedge pattern, which is actually the less likely scenario. Statistically speaking, this is not my opinion, but statistically speaking, a rising wedge breaks out towards the upside about 1 time out of 3 and breaks to the downside at roughly 2/3 of the time from this type of price pattern. And so considering that we're breaking out in the bullish direction, the less likely outcome from a rising wedge, this is a sign of strength in the market, obviously continuing the larger bullish trend. So obviously very good news for Solana, ultimately targeting this next major level here. And if we're taking a look at the price of XRP on the weekly time frame, technically, despite what happens in the short term, we're still actively playing out this massive bearish divergence with lower highs in the RSI and higher highs in the price. So at least for now, we're still a decent distance away from actually invalidating this large bearish divergence on the weekly time frame. But if we're taking a look at the daily time frame, as I've already been saying for days now on the channel, for around half a week now, I've been saying expect a little bit more of a short-term bullish relief, especially ever since we broke out back above 290. I've been targeting basically this next major level here, sitting at around $3.08. So I'm still targeting that level, $3.08 to $3.10 as the next major point of resistance. And as for support, in case we see any little pullback here, expect support now in between 285 to 290, and below that, major support at around 275, as I've been talking about since before we perfectly bounced from 275 based on those daily candle closes at the local lows. And if we're taking a look at this daily XRP price chart, as of recording this video, the price of XRP is now attempting a breakout, not yet confirmed, but attempting a breakout from this descending triangle pattern, which historically, statistically, is also a bearish price pattern. Now, once again, a bearish price pattern can break out towards the upside. That's simply statistically the less likely scenario. And so obviously, if XRP actually confirms this daily candle close, ideally above $3, confirming the breakout here above this line of resistance, that's another sign of strength. Like I said, for Solana breaking out from the rising wedge, this is a sign of strength, at least in the short term, which means in the following days, if not maybe the next 1 or 2 weeks, we'll likely see a little bit more of a bullish relief towards the next major point of resistance. Once again, the next immediate point to watch out for above $3, if we confirm the breakout, is sitting at around $3.08 to $3.10 as an area of resistance. And above that level right there, we have this major level of resistance sitting at just above $3.30, around $3.32 to $3.35 as a major area of resistance. If we first confirm a breakout, first of all above $3, but ideally above $3.08 to $3.10 as that next area of resistance. And obviously also keep an eye on what the price of Bitcoin is doing, because for example, if Bitcoin continues this short-term bullish trend, that can really help a lot of the altcoins in the shorter term, or vice versa. If Bitcoin, for example, invalidates this breakout here by breaking back below 113K with candle closes below that level, in that situation, that may result in this breakout right here never actually confirming or quickly invalidating if Bitcoin plays out something similar. But with that being said, taking a look at Chainlink on the daily time frame, and right now Chainlink is playing out something similar, obviously a short-term bullish relief, starting to possibly reverse out of this larger pullback, but this entire time still remaining within a much longer-term bullish trend, larger bullish price structure, forming higher lows and higher highs on this daily Chainlink price chart. And the price just recently has now been testing this resistance, sitting at around $23.80 approximately, so just under $24 is an area of resistance to watch out for, or level of resistance to watch out for. And above that, the next resistance is just above $25, around $25.10 to $25.20, give or take. And above that, we have significant resistance at close to $27, around $26.80 to $27, which I've been warning here on the channel since before we actually rejected from that area at these highs. And as for support, obviously we've developed support at close to $22, at really the high $21 area, so around $21.90 to $22. And below that, we have this significant area here to watch out for in between around $20 to $21, previously significant resistance, and would now likely act as strong support if the price would actually get to that area. And if we're taking a look at this daily Chainlink price chart, we're possibly getting closer towards confirming the invalidation of this bearish divergence, but it's not happened just yet, which means we still have that possible risk of the bearish divergence still influencing the price a little longer. But overall, once again, if the rest of the crypto market, if Bitcoin, Ethereum, etc. play out short-term bullish reliefs, it's likely Chainlink will play out something similar just in the immediate short term here. But once again, we've not yet fully invalidated this bearish divergence. And so overall, those are my expectations for the crypto market and my exact trading strategy, revealing how to make a lot of money in the market right now. And of course, if you want to take these trades for yourself, get set up ready to go using the links below this video to those exchanges if you want to claim those massive bonuses that are only available using those links. And if you want to actually know how you can take these trades for yourself to make a lot of money in the market, no matter what the price is doing, then make sure to watch these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left shows you how you can profit from bullish or bearish price action using long positions or short positions, and the video in the bottom left shows you how you can easily profit from choppy sideways price action. But anyway, that is everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.